Hi, I'm Sean, and I was born on November 11, 1993. My name is Sean, with an accent mark on the A, which means my name is Irish for John. Although I'm pretty sure Mum said I was also named after Sean Connery. Really hope that was a joke though. I grew up in Ingleburn, and still live in the same house I have ever since I was a baby. In February of 1995, my brother was born, and I've been giving him hell ever since. When I started going to preschool, I met a cute blonde girl called Ruby. We got along incredibly well. So well, in fact, that we have now been brilliant friends for 15 or 16 years, so I've known her most of my life. In 1999, I started kindergarten at St Andrew's Public School, where by chance I was in the same class as Ruby. I also met Anissa. According to her, we met at the school bubblers when I decided to splash her with water, and we've hit it off ever since. Ruby, Anissa and I were part of a friend group that would hang out at this old, amazing-looking tree in the infants' playground. We eventually all became really big fans of an Australian kids' TV show called The Saddle Club. We would also do musical performances for the other kids at lunchtime. In 2001, I was in Year 2, and I spent the last part of the year on an overseas family holiday. We went to Singapore, and then we went across to Europe, to England, Ireland, Holland, Scotland, France, and Wales. Being so young, my memory is very selective in the way that I don't remember seeing the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, for example, but I remember playing soccer in a random park in England. I then went on to Year 3, where I was one of the first students to get a pen license, and I started getting into debating and public speaking. This was also the year I discovered Doctor Who, watching an episode from the 60s called The Web Planet. I became an instant fan of the show, that with my dad and brother, we created our own Doctor Who episode called Chase in Time. Embarrassingly enough, I showed this to my class at school, and everyone seemed to love it, I guess. In 2003, we went on another family holiday to Tasmania, of which I remember Cradle Mountain, but not much else, sadly. 2004 was a busy year. The Olympics were on in Athens. I remember this because this was the year I had terrible nightmares constantly. The family also went to the South Island of New Zealand, which was incredible. Kira and I were big fans of Lord of the Rings at the time, so we did a Lord of the Rings tour. My favourite place is Queenstown because the scenery is so beautiful. I also made a film with Kieran and Anissa's siblings, Zayn and Ra'is. We created the Kieran movie, a film where we play toddlers with a really wacky storyline. This film was shown at school as well, but in the school library, leading it to be shown to about 6 classes. Ridiculous. In 2005, Ruby, Anisha and I were in the same class once more, and by second term, had a teacher called Mr. Ogilvy, who we soon grew to love and I can safely say was our favourite teacher throughout school. And then we became great friends with him after school. We made films in class, which cemented my love for filmmaking. I was involved in debating this year, making it to the state championships held in Newcastle. I was also in Tournament of Minds for the second time, coming second place in the state. Year 7 was a scary year for me, being shy and all by myself at a new school. I would call Anissa every day to check up on her. I had somehow ended up in the bottom class, even though I was a top student, and ended up in a bad group of friends who corrupted me. Despite this, I became Dux of Year 7. I also created the Kira movie 2 this year, which was not shown to any class, thankfully. Year 8 was my rebellious year. I got a letter sent home and had detentions constantly. I also started dating my friend Jen. When my friends found out I liked her, they forced me to go up to her one lunchtime and ask her out. We both liked each other a lot, but we were so awkward that we'd barely even hold hands. By Year 9, I was in a better friend group, and I had a crush on a girl that I could never have. Of course, I convinced myself I could. She said she liked me, but eventually decided that she would remain with her old boyfriend, and my heart was broken. Of course, I retreated into shyness again, and this group of friends drifted from me. But by the end of 2009, I was super confident. School prefect, top student, loudmouth, amazing new group of friends, and avid blogger. I went to Vietnam and Cambodia the next year with extended family who had been living in China for a year, and we met up with them in the stairwell of an old hotel in Hanoi at 2 in the morning. This holiday has to be one of my favourites. With so many amazing places and experiences had, noteworthy events including Halong Bay on a wooden ship, and going 10 metres under the ground at the Coochie tunnels. Eventually, Year 12 came around in 2011, and HSC became everything. My recollection of this year pretty much just involves Mrs. Creamer being concerned about my lack of time to do work, Mrs. Ellis being concerned for my lack of sleep, and Mr. Levkowski being concerned about my lack of motivation. In multimedia, my major project was a half-hour animation that taught people how to have high self-esteem. It was shown across the school and I got 97% for it. And I got 87.75 overall for my HSC. I was also the lead singer in a band at the time called Hey Frisco. We played at friends' parties and went into a talent show where Nathan from High Five said we were crap after I teased him about picking out a wedgie backstage. I turned 18 on the 11th of the 11th, 2011. This was a Friday night and also the last day anyone had a HSC exam, so everyone was able to turn up and have an amazing party that people still talk about to this day. This was also the first day I posted up a vlog on this YouTube channel. And then university started. I studied communications and media at the University of Wollongong. Once again, I was by myself in all my tutorials and could never seem to make friends quickly enough before the semester would end. I met Tennille in a peer support class on a rainy day where she let me walk under her umbrella, and we've been close since then. Ruby also went to uni with me, and we'd go on random adventures during our breaks and distract each other while attempting to study in the library. And since then I've developed a great group of friends at uni and I'm starting to feel much more confident again. As difficult as it was to kind of find a quick summary of my life, there we go, that's my draw my life.